In 2005, the site of the old Castlegate Hotel in Atlanta would become the location of Ted Benning's most daunting career challenge. As president of Benning Construction Company in Atlanta, he could never have imagined a project that would require the foresight, diplomacy, and caution dictated by what would become known as the district at Howell Mill. Before it was over, the project would face challenging realities in the fields of engineering, geology, politics, and the aftermath of Tropical Storm Cindy and Hurricanes Dennis and Katrina. The respected family-owned Seelig Enterprises was to be the developer. As they wrestled with the difficulty of the site and a possible tenant mix, there were misgivings.
When we first looked at the site, we knew it was a difficult site, but I think a lot of times difficult sites present opportunities.
The largest problem that this property had was how do we get enough square footage of retail space on this property to pay for the property and to pay for the improvements. So it wasn't going to be a strip center. It was going to be something unique.
When we got into the process of choosing a contractor, we based our decision primarily on a combination of the character of the contractor and our previous experience with the contractor.
For reasons of quality, reputation, and skill in turning around budgets, Benning was picked as the contractor. As the cut and fill process began, even more was found of the hotel that wouldn't go away. Old loading docks, pavement, slabs, footings, and auger cast piles had to be extracted, ground up, and used for creep fill. Finally, by the spring of 2005, the Castlegate Hotel was dead and buried. Then there was rain.
During the course of the site work, when we had a lot of the deep trenches open out here, the sanitary lines, the storm lines, trying to get them installed was right in the middle of two hurricanes. We would literally get a trench opened up, have 5 inches of rain in the span of 24 hours, have the trench collapse, dig it out, pump it out, then have to do something with the wet and mucky material that came out, and just have to keep going back at it until we were able to get it in.
Then there was more rain. In all, Tropical Storm Cindy and Hurricanes Dennis and Katrina dumped enough water on the site that construction vehicles of all sorts were bogging down. Now the project was in jeopardy of serious delays. This was July 2005, and something had to be done. The solution was to mix huge quantities of lime into the soil. The intent was to absorb enough moisture just for vehicles to move. At times, it seemed as if the project was in nothing more than survival mode, but it worked. To a casual viewer, things seemed to be going smoothly. In the background, though, there was potential trouble, as decisions on design, tenant mix, and engineering were still being decided.
Tenant changes and revisions while you're already under construction have already put a couple hundred yards of concrete in the ground. It becomes very stressful and very difficult to work through. One good thing about the team that we were working with as Benning is that they stay very level-headed and calm, and they don't let frustrations with the project or the process interfere with their judgment and their communication.
That is one of the reasons that we chose Benning Construction and Ted, because of his diligence in the estimating process and his accuracy in estimating the time that projects will take, and his straightforwardness in trying to work out problems when they come up.
The adverse weather was beginning to ease. This meant that structural steel work on the upper deck could be built with fewer delays. This steel is the framework of the retail shops, providing the structure for studs, drywall, and roofing. During the spring and summer of 2006, upper and lower areas were being constructed simultaneously. The upper retail shops were literally bolted onto the deck and dried in. Interior work on studs, drywall, painting, electrical, and finishing went at a furious pace. Having worked with Benning to build the highest quality structures, Seelig wanted the exteriors to reflect that. To that end, the architect-Phillips partnership designed unique features which would signal to upscale customers that this was a special place to shop, linger, and enjoy. Then, on October 18, 2006, Walmart became the first tenant to open its doors. This was only the third truly urban Walmart to open in a major American city. The upper retail shops were close behind. By late October, the district was taking on the feel of a place that had always been there. Holiday shoppers came and took full advantage of the convenience of this bright new center. 5 years before, bringing this level of quality retail development to a relatively tiny urban site might have seemed a quixotic task. What made this seemingly impossible feat work was an intimate, positive relationship between people and companies who cared about their city, community, and each other.
Not only are Ted and I still speaking to each other, but the last 2 times I've seen Ted, the last time, 2 times ago, I walked over to him and I hugged him. Last time I saw him, he walked over to me and hugged me. So I'd say we're on pretty good terms.